To business news, where the Minister of Interior, Trade and Investment, Dr. Jumoke Oduwole, says Nigeria's total capital importation has risen to approximately $21 billion in the first 10 months of 2025, marking a sharp increase from about $12 billion in 2024 and less than $4 billion in 2023. The minister disclosed this while presenting the performance highlight of the ministry during the 2026 budget defense session before the Joint House of Representatives Committee on Commerce in Abuja on Wednesday. Oduwole described the growth as evidence of renewed investor confidence and the impact of targeted reforms under President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope agenda, while also attributing the recovery to deliberate ministry interventions, including the creation of over $5 billion in bankable projects and the establishment of sector-specific deal rooms and the hosting of Nigeria's inaugural Domestic Investors Summit.
Honorable members, in 2024, the ministry's appropriation was 14.39 billion naira. Personnel and overhead allocations were fully utilized. Of the 8.36 billion naira capital allocation, 93.2% was released, which was fully utilized. Revenue performance exceeded target by approximately 153 million naira, with full remittance to the Consolidated Revenue Fund. In 2025, the ministry's appropriation was 11.8 billion naira. Personnel and overhead allocations were again fully utilized. Of the 3.89 billion naira capital allocation, no amount had been released to date. Revenue performance exceeded target by approximately 100 million naira, with full remittance to the Consolidated Revenue Fund. Within available resources, the ministry maintains fiscal discipline, effective planning, and accountable use of public funds.
Earlier, Chairman of the committee, Honorable Ahmed Munir, had assured the Ministry of legislative backing while also emphasizing the National Assembly will prioritize value for money and measurable economic impact over the mere budget utilization. He says the committee will scrutinize how the 2026 budget strengthens local content, supports Made in Nigeria initiatives, and empowers small and medium enterprises through accessible credit, reduce regulatory bottlenecks, and improved ease of doing business.
Our priorities for these sessions are anchored on three pillars. Domestic production. We must move from being a nation of consumers to a powerhouse of producers. We will scrutinize how this budget supports local content and Made in Nigeria initiatives. SME empowerment. Small and medium enterprises are the heartbeat of our economy. This budget must prove it has the oxygen to keep that heart beating through accessible credit and reduce ease of doing business bottlenecks. Trade expansion. With the African Continental Free Trade Area in full swing, Nigeria cannot afford to be a spectator. We must invest in the infrastructure of commerce, standardization, certification, and digital trade. To the MDAs present today, we expect transparency. We expect data-backed projections. But more importantly, we expect human compassion behind the numbers.
In a related development, the Representatives Committee on Public Accounts has decried the poor funding of the Auditor General Office due to rise in cases of corruption, warning that persistent underfunding of the nation's supreme audit institution could further entrench corruption and weaken accountability systems in the country. These concerns were expressed by the Chairman, House Committee on Public Accounts, Honorable Bamidele Salam, during the ongoing consideration of the 2026 budget proposal of the Auditor General of the National Assembly. He says it is unrealistic to expect the Auditor General's office to effectively scrutinize a proposed expenditure of 58.4 trillion naira with minimal funding. His reaction was fueled by the Auditor General of the Federation's complaint during the budget defense session. A breakdown of the 2026 budget estimate shows 5.3 billion naira earmarked for personnel costs, 5.6 billion naira for overheads, and 4.8 billion naira for capital expenditure.
The performance on overheads among the 4.6 billion, 2.5 was leased. That is, 54% of the budget was leased. Some of the challenges the office faced in the discharge of its constitutional mandate are as follows. Lack of administrative independence due to delay in the passage of the ODP, which has been passed and is waiting for concurrence with the National Assembly. Thank the honorable members for that good initiative. Delay in accessing relevant records for documents from the audited entities, and delay in answering queries from MDAs. Delay in presentation of consolidated financial statement by the Accountant General of the Federation, inadequate funding for the office, lack of adequate office accommodation, lack of adequate office furniture, inadequate voting tools like computers and other relevant software, inadequate staffing, poor staff welfare, inadequate training and retraining of staff. Thank you.
Honorable colleagues, my own worry actually is in the fact that we have a budget of 58.1 trillion naira. 58 point something trillion naira is the federal budget. Federal government. Sir? The federal budget has a size of 58 point 1 trillion naira now. Yeah. And the office of the Auditor General for the Federation is the office that is ordinarily meant to ensure that those monies are well spent and well audited. And all they have to audit the sum is less than 6 billion naira. For those who can do a math, that's what percentage of the total budget. Okay, 58.4 trillion naira is the total budget. It raises some concerns as far as I'm concerned if we are really serious about preventing corruption and ensuring that we have value for money and ensuring that this office is actually well empowered or enabled to be able to carry out its statutory duties. It's about the only office in the finance chain that is mentioned specifically in the Constitution, Section 85. Yet, like the Auditor General said, they asked for 16 billion naira on overhead, and they are getting only 5.6 billion.